All right, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So this story takes place back when I was in high school, and funny enough, I'm not gonna lie. One of the benefits of me that I love about myself so much, and this is gonna sound really weird, but I love how I always had straight teeth. If you guys don't know, I have never had braces ever in my life, which I am very thankful for, because I never liked braces, nor did I ever want braces, but everyone else in my family had to get braces except me and my dad. So I guess I got my dad's good genes. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember one time, my mom ended up coming to my door when it was like 7 a.m. in the morning saying, Bubba, make sure tomorrow you know that you have to go see the dentist. And me, I don't like the dentist. I am not a fan of going to the dentist, nor do I ever like it in general. Because who in the world would want someone shoving something in your mouth? Like, I don't know. I just don't like it. And also, I really don't like their bubblegum flavor. Like, for me, it just tastes like really gross medicine. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically when she told me that, I told her, Mom, I really don't want to go. Like, my teeth are fine. They're straight, and I never had an issue ever. And then she told me, Bubba, you have to go to the dentist and you have to make sure you get your teeth fixed. We always have to do a checkup. You know that. Fine, is what I told her afterwards. And I basically ended up going to school in basically fear. Like, knowing I had to go to the dentist was utterly scary. And I really did not want to go, but at the same time, my parents were going to force me to go either way. So I remember when I was at school, it was during science class, and my teacher ended up coming up to me saying, okay, Bubba, so your parents are going to be here any minute now. So can you pack your stuff and get ready to go downstairs to the front door and meet with your parents? I remember when she said that, I really wanted to lie to her and say that I wasn't, but I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie to my science teacher because she was like really hot. That's a story for another time, but anyways, going on. I remember I packed up my bag and got everything ready, and I ended up going downstairs. When I went downstairs, I remember I saw my mom at the front door waiting with my dad because apparently they were both taking me to the dentist to make sure I actually behaved when I was there. And I remember when I got in the car, my parents were driving down. As my parents were driving down though, my dad ended up getting a phone call from the dentist. I was hoping that they were canceling, but then it was some lady saying, hi, so I know it's Bubba's appointment, but I'm gonna be taking over his appointment today. I want to make sure you guys understood that. So are you guys okay with me doing his checkup? I was hoping my parents were gonna say no. I was like, please say no, please say no. And then my mom says, oh, no problem, we'll go to the checkup and we'll see. Thank you for telling us. Great, thanks, Mom. I was kind of upset and annoyed, but at the same time, it is what it is. So I remember I ended up sitting in the car for half an hour thinking that some random lady that I have never met is going to literally, and I mean literally, put something in my mouth and basically check on my teeth. When we got there half an hour later, I remember I sat down at the dentist appointment with my parents. We all sat down together and we basically just waited. And I remember out the door comes a doctor. At first I thought it was just a nurse because she looked really cute and looked way too young to be a dentist. But then she ended up saying, Bubba, can you please come in? You're next up. I remember I looked at her and I ended up looking at my parents, and I stood up and I instantly just started walking up to her. When I walked up to her, I remember I asked her, wait, so are you like my dentist? She says, oh yeah, like I'm gonna be doing your checkup today. Huh? Okay. And just a reminder what this girl looked like. Like, she had like blonde hair, blue eyes, and she had major cherries to the point where I don't think her outfit could actually like hold those in. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember I basically went with her to the checkup, and when I got there, I remember I looked at her and I kind of was just like, laying down in the seat, doing the whole thing that she needed me to do. I opened my mouth wide and she gave me glasses to wear, and when I wore the glasses, I had to look at a TV screen that was up above. She was playing the television show Treehouse, and I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm not complaining because, it never hurts to watch cartoons. But as I was watching it, the most embarrassing thing ended up happening where, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, as she was like kind of like putting something in my mouth and I had these sunglasses on, I remember she ended up kind of like going over like my head with her chest to look inside my teeth, kind of from like behind, I guess. And her cherries literally flopped onto my glasses. Like, her cherries literally were right in front of my eyes to the point where I didn't care what was showing on Treehouse. I was watching her. I was watching those enormous cherries, and I'm not gonna lie when I say this, and this was so embarrassing. Reminder, I was wearing sweatpants this day. I literally got bricked. I got bricked up so hard to the point where I remember I looked at her and she looked at my eggplant and she's like, oh, well, someone's excited to have good teeth. Good teeth? Hell nah. I know what I was looking at. I was looking at something that straight up made me bricked. And I remember she made it super awkward with me and like looked at me and I looked at her and I straight up told her, hey, like, listen, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, you're hot. My bad. And then she looked at me and started squeezing her chest together and she's like, oh, it's probably because of these bad boys, isn't it? What? Dude, I didn't believe this was a dentist at this point. I thought this was like Johnny Sins' sister, bro. Like, I didn't know what to think. So I remember I'm just sitting there all like, jittery and excited thinking this is actually happening right now. And then afterwards, right as I was going on and she was going to put one final thing in my tooth to me, do a checkup on, my mom ends up walking into the dentist room, seeing what was going on and why I was taking so long. And she's like, is everything okay in here? Does he have good teeth? I remember my dentist looks at me and I look at her her. And then we're like, yeah, mom, I have really good taste, is what I said with her putting something in my mouth. And then she said, yeah, but I'm gonna have to see him again soon because he has like a little cavity in the back of his tooth. You can't really see it, but it's back there. I'm gonna need to see him in a couple days. Wait, what is what I said? I was really confused because, well, I'm not gonna lie, my teeth were priceless. They were perfect. There was no way I actually had a cavity. So I remember my mom ended up leaving the room to go tell my dad, and she looked at me. She's like, you don't actually have a cavity, but I do want to see you again soon. As she's literally putting her hand up my thigh slowly. At this point, I knew that this girl wanted to do the devil's tango with me. Like, there was no way she didn't. So as I'm panicking, thinking, okay, this is like going down for real, you know, as I'm like, you know, about to sing the rap song, it's going down for real. Sorry. I got too excited. But anyways, like I was saying, knowing this was happening was utterly insane. And then I remember I ended up standing up, leaving the doctor's office slowly, and basically went to my parents saying, oh, well, it looks like I have to come back in a couple days. My parents were pretty annoyed because, let's be real here, who wants to do another half an hour drive? But me, I was excited to see my dentist again. But the funny part was, and I remember this so vividly, she ends up literally, as I'm about to leave, run outside to literally the place where we parked our car, and she handed me a toothbrush. I didn't know why it took her so long to give me a toothbrush because usually most dentists give it after the appointment, but she ends up giving it to me straight to my hand saying, hope you have a good time brushing your teeth with this. It ends up walking away. I was really confused at first, and I'm like, okay, well, that just happened. And then afterwards, when I got in the car and I opened the toothbrush, I realized that there was a note inside. The toothbrush was open, but there was something in there, which was a note. I end up taking out the toothbrush, opening the note, and I saw it was her Snapchat. And at this point, I knew that your boy was in, bro. Like, I knew what was going down, okay? So I got super hyped, and I remember I pulled out my phone, I added her on Snapchat, and I basically, like, you know, added her on there. Right when I got back home, I remember I ended up getting an ad back on Snapchat because I didn't end up going back to school. And she snaps me saying, how are those cute pearly whites? As she's still in her, like, dentist uniform, you know, pushing her cherries up. And I'm like, oh, they're good, as I send her a picture. And basically, I remember I ended up hopping on Call of Duty with the boys, telling them my experience at the dentist and how I absolutely loved it. And then for some reason, I got another Snapchat from her, and it was literally her cherries full on out at the dentist office. Bro, are there not cameras at the dentist office, is what I asked her. And she said, no, silly, that's doctor-patient confidentiality. What? I remember I was so in shock, and I was like, okay, bet, so I guess I'm gonna see you in a couple days. And then she said, yeah, I'll be waiting, as she's like holding like this, like, I don't know, it was some form of thing that you put in a mouth to like look inside and like look in like detail at a person's teeth. I don't know what it is, but she stuck it in my mouth basically. And then I remember I ended up telling the boys of that, and they didn't believe me. They had no idea. And I said, watch, next time I go see her and I hit it from the back, I'm literally gonna send you guys a photo. They didn't believe me, and they said there was no way this was gonna happen, but I knew in my mind I was gonna make it happen. So what I ended up doing was I snapped her back and forth, and I kind of, you know, got comfortable talking to her and stuff. And let's just say what ended up happening next was the most insane thing ever. Now, before anything, I do apologize. I don't want to make a part 2. I really don't. Me and this dentist got a little bit in the mood, and basically where we last left off was I was gonna go do the devil's tango with my dentist inside her own home. But there's one thing that really bothered me. Knowing that I had full access to just one day go to my dentist's house and go do the devil's tango kind of stressed me out, because knowing that she had a husband and that she was married kind of just made my mind think this is a really bad idea. Which, I mean, fair enough, you know, anyone who doesn't understand basic logic, you don't go for the married woman or married man, because that would make you a home wrecker. But the fun thing about me and back in high school is that the reason I have so many crazy stories and so many exciting things that happened in my life was because I always said yes to things. From things that I know I shouldn't have done, I always just ended up saying yes. So I remember I ended up hitting her up on my phone, my dentist, and ended up snapping her saying, I am so down. Because she literally snapped me earlier saying, Baba, guess whose husband's on vacation for the next 3 weeks? You gotta come over. So knowing this in my mind, it made sense that I wouldn't get caught at all if I did go to my dentist's place and go do the devil's tango. But at the same time, it does make things really bad because it makes me a bad person. But at the same time, it was my dentist. If it was any chick from my school that was married, which is very, well, weird, but I mean, I can't say I've never seen it before. That's a story for another time. But going on with the story, I remember I basically decided to say screw it and go see her. Well, I ended up snapping her saying, okay, so like, when's the best time for me to come over? Because like, you know, I don't want to bother anyone. I don't want to get in the way of things. And also, I don't want your husband to find out. She said, oh, like basically anytime sometime like after I'm done work would be perfect. Actually, I'm planning on leaving early on Wednesday if you want to come over then. When I knew she was leaving early from work on Wednesday, that would be the perfect timing because she ends work literally 1 hour after I end school. So I said, all right, like that sounds good because right after I'm done school, she'll instantly be done work and I could just head over straight to her place. So I remember on Tuesday, I was really excited and I decided to hop on Xbox that night and say this to the boys. Yo, boys, guess who's gonna go do the dentist? At this point, the boys were sick of it because I'm not gonna lie, one of them ended up telling me, bro, you literally said this last week when you went to go see your dentist and you didn't end up doing anything, bro. Like, you don't gotta lie to us. Just be real, man. But I knew I was telling the truth. Like, you guys know this feeling when you have to prove someone wrong, but you didn't prove them wrong yet, and it's just so time consuming, but they get on your butt every time you mention it. But that was basically this scenario. And knowing this, it gave me even more motivation to go to my dentist's house and go do the Devil's Tango. So I remember I ended up telling them over Xbox, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. Trust me, man. I'm gonna go literally go slam the dentist on her own workplace and do it. In reality, I was gonna do it at you know, her house, but you know what I mean. I was trying to be over dramatic with the boys because that's how you usually are. But of course, knowing every person nowadays, they didn't believe me. You know, it makes sense how people don't believe the stuff I say, but at the same time, knowing I lived through it, it's kind of hilarious. Anyways, going on, I remember I basically had to prove that I was gonna do this. I had to do it. So the next day, when I woke up in the morning, I remember I got dressed, I got ready, and I also picked up a rubber from under my bed that I was gonna use on the dentist because obviously protection first, ladies and gentlemen. And then I ended up going to school that day. When I went to school, I ended up meeting up with some of the boys that were on Xbox the night before, and they all looked at me saying, bro, Bubba, are you actually gonna go do it today? One of them said, and I ended up telling them, yeah, trust, bro, like this time I'm gonna put something in her mouth instead of her putting something in mine. Yeah, I didn't really think that coming through because it was really weird, and actually it was kind of hilarious the more I think about it now. And then I remember one of the guys ended up saying, bro, you better actually send a photo when you do it, bro. Like, I'm being for real, bro. Like, if you don't actually do it, I'm gonna actually troll you, bro. When he said this, I knew I had to. Because if you guys do ever have like the group called the boys, or you know, have this friend group that's just full of guys that like, you know, like to pick on each other a lot, when they have something to pick about, they will do it till the ends of the earth, until you're basically on your grave, and they'll still make the same joke. So I remember I had to do this, knowing that the only way to clear this off my name was to basically do it was gonna happen. So every class I went to that day, I remember I was in desperate shock. I was like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I was gonna do this. And I remember when the last bell rang for school to end, I instantly got up and ran for the doors. Like, I didn't even let the bell finish ringing. That's when you know it's actually something really exciting. I think the last time I actually did something like that was when my parents got a brand new console for me and I wanted to play it so bad. But anyways, going on with the story, I remember I ended up running out the door and I basically started heading straight for my dentist's house. Funny enough, she didn't actually live that far from the school. She was actually like a couple blocks away, which is kind of weird, but at the same time, I mean, hey, it's just a benefit for me at the end of the day. And when I started running to her house, I remember it was like a 20-minute walk, and when I officially got there, I walked up the doorstep. She lived in a really nice house. Like, this house was gigantic. I could even almost say it was a mansion at this point. And then I remember I basically went on my phone, texted her that I was here, and then she told me to go around the back. Apparently, she didn't want me going through the front door because her front door has like a camera. So I ended up going around the house, around the back, and I ended up coming in from the back door. When I did, I remember she opened the door and she was in a robe. She was not basically wearing anything under that robe, and I remember she basically told me to sit down and offer me a glass of water. I don't know why. I guess she thought I was really nervous, but in a way, I was motivated. I literally said, nah, let's just get straight down to business, you know? As if I knew what I was doing. When in reality, I kind of didn't. I still was kind of nervous. Anyways, me and her, we instantly decided to, you know, exchange a couple words, aka, oh, you're hot, is all I really said to her. And then afterwards, she ended up grabbing my wrist and taking me upstairs, and we ended up going to the bedroom, and yes, we literally did do the Devil's Tango. And I'm not gonna lie, for her being my dentist, I gotta say, she had some really nice teeth. Like, knowing her, she definitely did floss properly. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember me and her went at it for, I want to say, almost an hour and a half. I don't know how I kept up knowing I was still in high school, but it worked out. And then basically, out of nowhere, and I mean this when I say this, the doorbell rang in the middle of it. I remember I was in shock and I was shaking. And I remember she ended up standing up from the bed saying, no one should be here. What in the world? And she ended up going down the stairs with her robe on. Me, I was in the bedroom not wearing anything. So obviously I'm in like basic shock at this point. Knowing my legs were basically numb as well, I didn't know what to do. So I remember I decided to kind of just start getting ready, getting my pants on and my clothes, and basically start leaving. But as I exit the bedroom door and I start heading down the stairs, I look over the staircase and I see that her son literally came home. Not her husband, her actual son. And if you guys don't know, her son was surprisingly someone that was like in college. I don't know what this college person's gonna think think that I'm literally doing the devil's tango with his mom while her husband is gone on vacation. Like, oops, I guess daddy's not gonna like that. Or do I just come down the stairs and say, hey, I'm your new daddy? Like, I didn't know what to say. So I remember I basically ended up running back up the stairs and basically hiding under the bed. I remember I really had to do this because it was just really scary for me. And then afterwards, I want to say like 10 seconds later, I hear someone coming up the stairs. In my mind, I thought it was hopefully my dentist coming back up the stairs to say everything was clear and I can go home. But then right when I realize it and look at the door, I see her son coming into the bedroom arguing with his own mother. Well, AKA my dentist. Basically, they had some argument about like my dentist's dad not like listening and paying attention and basically not doing his part in the family tree. I have no idea. Apparently some weird stuff was going on and it made sense why my dentist didn't care much about her own husband because apparently they already had some, you know, wife and husband issues that I guess a couple gets into sometimes. But in my mind, I knew at that point when I was hearing this argument and I was hearing my dentist's son basically complain saying how he just wanted a normal family, it made me feel bad. I actually felt really bad knowing what happened. I didn't really want to be there anymore. And knowing that I already did the devil's tango with his own mom already made me feel worse. I remember I basically just stayed there all quiet and stuff. And I want to say like 10 minutes went by of me hearing this whole entire argument. And when you hear an argument for 10 minutes straight, you guys got to understand, it sucks. It makes you feel worse and worse the minute it goes by. After like 10 minutes though, I remember the son went out the door all angrily because his mom wasn't cooperating, aka my dentist. And basically my dentist came back into the room saying, oh my goodness, Bubba, I am so sorry you had to hear all that. That was so embarrassing. I remember I ended up coming out of under the bed and I was already fully clothed because I was changing while I was under there. And basically I ended up telling her saying, hey, listen, I don't think it's cool if we see each other again. You know what I mean? As if I was like a full-on grown-up. I remember she looked at me and said, oh, like, no, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's just like a thing that's happening with the family. Like, I'm planning on divorcing my husband. And when she told me that she was divorcing her husband, I ended up saying, honestly, I don't think you should. She ended up looking at me all weird saying, what? Why did you tell me not to divorce my husband? That's really odd of you. And I ended up telling her, well, knowing your son, honestly, from everything I just heard, I think it's not worth it. The kid just wants a normal family, even though the kid was like 20 and was in college. But still, I basically said how, you know, she should just try working things out with her husband and just see if, you know, they fix things. But then I realized that my dentist was feeling really sad after I said that. She sat down on the bed wearing only her robe and said, Baba, you gotta understand, my husband cheated on me. Oh, okay. That sucks, is what I told her. And then I told her, well, you gotta understand, blood is thicker than water. I saw that in like a movie somewhere, so I thought it'd be cool to say at the moment because we were talking about family. Like, I don't know. It was either that or I pull out something from Dom Toretto, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, family is everything, but like, it is what it is. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember at that moment, I basically just wanted to get out of there. I wasn't comfortable being there anymore. So I ended up basically getting my backpack and everything that I had for school, and I ended up leaving. But before I left, I remember my dentist looked at me and said, Bubba, can we please just see each other one more time? I looked at her and said, I don't know, we'll see what the future holds. And I ended up leaving. After that day, I remember I went home and I hopped on Xbox, and basically from there, I remember all the boys were already freaking out when I joined the Xbox party. Now, I found this weird because I didn't send them anything, nor did I say anything to them. It was weird because I remember I was so motivated and I forgot to take evidence and proof that I ended up doing the devil's tango with her. But apparently they found out somehow. And it was so weird because I remember asking them, wait, guys, how do you guys even know that I did it with the dentist? And he ended up saying, dude, some college kid literally ended up posting about a guy named Bubba and how he was gonna kill him. Wait, what? Now I had her son literally going after me and I have no idea how he found out that I was actually in that room at the moment.
Oh boy, just great. Another bathroom story. Outstanding. Now, I know I've already done a bathroom story before if you guys have seen the channel, and you guys literally destroyed it. And I remember mentioning one of my like recent videos that, you know, I had a story time about how I did it in a Walmart bathroom. And funny enough, this is actually true. I did the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. Now, how did this happen is pretty weird, but honestly, all I gotta say is that I feel like bathrooms are like our new safe haven. Like, honestly, I feel so much safer in a bathroom. Like, I don't know why. I guess probably because they have locks on the door, and my bedroom doesn't have a lock on the door, and anyone could just walk in. You know what? That's a story for another time. All right, yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So like I said in the title, yes, this is actually about me doing the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. Now, I know what you're thinking. Obviously, you guys are probably typing down in the comments being like,
oh my goodness, this guy has such fake stories. Like, I believe none of them are real.
and you know what? We could argue all day, but this is my life, and this is literally what happened. So let's get straight into it. So obviously, this story starts back in high school. So back in high school, I remember I was just chilling, doing my own thing, and I had a social studies class. You guys don't know what social studies is? Well, it sucks because it's literally just talking about all the past mistakes mistakes that this world have done, which I guess, you know, just continues happening. But anyways, when I entered my social studies class, I saw our seating arrangement change. Now, if you guys don't know what a seating arrangement is, basically like we have like our own desks, and you know, like usually we would change it into groups or into rows. You know, it's just a mix and match kind of thing. And I remember my desk changed to a spot beside a really hot chick, or girl. Sorry, I know you guys don't want me to say chick, so I'm gonna say girl. Now, this girl was outstanding and she was amazing. She looked great. She had a beautiful scent on her. And I'm not saying go sniff girls, but I'm saying she smelled good. And I remember, like, you know, as we were sitting beside socials and stuff, we had like a socials class on, like, I don't know, I think we were talking about something. I don't remember what exactly, because I kept like getting distracted by the chick beside me. But I remember me and her were kind of like nudging each other. We were being kind of flirtatious here and there and stuff like that. And this went on for like almost a week. Now, funny enough, I didn't ask for a Snapchat, nothing, because she told me like she doesn't have Snapchat, which is a total false information, by the way. I think every girl has Snapchat. If they don't, then they're definitely hiding something. But, you know, she always told me she didn't. And obviously, you know, as time went on, I remember one day as we were in social studies class, she was looking at me and saying, "What are you doing after school?" Now, me being the weird, annoying, kind of shy person, I was like, "Oh, nothing, you know, just probably gonna go home, you know, just to work out." You know, I said some BS that wasn't actually gonna happen. And then she's like, "Oh, I mean, like, do you want to come to the mall with me? I have to do some shopping." Now, I never got invited to the mall by a chick before at this time. It was kind of weird thinking about it, because I was worried it's gonna be like another sugar mama situation. But surprising enough, you know, she was pretty good off, you know, on her own. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I remember after school came, me and her, we ended up, you know, getting our things and we head over to the mall. So fun fact, the mall was literally super close to us. Like, I could literally say the mall was like maybe like a 5-minute walk from my high school. And as we were, you know, at the mall, we were walking around, we went around the food court and stuff. I remember my friend was texting me and he was saying, "Yo, are you getting on Xbox? Like, are you gonna hop on today?" And me being the dumb person I was like, "No, dude, like I'm hanging out with a hot chick right now. Like, she's so hot. She wants me to hang out with her in the mall." And obviously my friends are like, "Dude, like for the boys, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro?" I don't know. Honestly, I regret it to this day, because for the boys, man, for the boys. But going on, I remember as we were roaming around this mall, she was like kind of like again nudging me, and obviously like, you know, it got to the point where she was like getting close to me and stuff. And then I remember we went over to like a sports shop or whatever. I think it was like Sport Check or something. I'm not sure what. And we entered in there and she was telling me how like she plays golf and stuff, and you know, she wants to be a golfer and stuff like that. I don't know. It was like a whole bunch of cap. Like, it sounded like cap, I'm gonna be honest. But I remember she was like telling me like, "Oh, like I'm gonna hold the putter like this." And I know a lot of us have seen in movies like, you know, that romantic like putter grab where like the guy goes around her and like, you know, kind of like thrusts her and helps her use the putter. I don't know. It was some, I don't know how to explain it in like a PG form so this video doesn't get demonetized, but you know what I mean. So I do that with her, and you know, I kind of like show her how to use it, because obviously there's like those demo putter areas where you could like practice your puttering. And then she was like telling me like how she like liked it as I was like holding her and stuff, and it got really, really intense in a way. So I remember after she said she wanted to go get snacks at Walmart. So this is where things get very interesting, and I think you guys are gonna start freaking out after this one. She literally takes us to Walmart, or me to Walmart, I should say. She kind of like, you know, hangs out around me and, you know, does that kind of like, you know, "Oh, like this is cool. This is cool. Oh, this is a good snack." And then we kind of like really like got close at some moment. I don't remember what. I think she was showing me a lightsaber or some toy. I don't remember. And then we were both holding it. And then after that, like, I guess we started like kind of making out in the toy section. I don't know if there was any kids around. I hope not, actually, the more I think about it. And then she's like, "Follow me." Now, she literally grabbed me kind of by the wrist. Well, thumb and wrist. It was kind of like a weird handhold in a way. And she took me over to the Walmart bathroom. Now, she told me, "Stay here and in 30 seconds, come into the bathroom." She goes into like the disability bathroom, or, you know, the bathroom where it has like that cool like guy sitting on the cool chair thing. I always thought it was a toilet seat when I was younger, but I guess it's like a chair now. I don't know. Or a wheelchair. Oh boy, if it's a wheelchair, I feel bad. And basically 30 seconds later, I went into that bathroom and she was like, "Take off your pants." And as obviously you guys do know it, yes, this is actually something that happened. We did the devil's tango in the Walmart bathroom. This went on for, I want to say like 10 minutes, because I thought it was going to be a quickie, bro. Like, I had to make it quick, simple, and straight out. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, you know, me and her, we were able to make that happen because, you know, I guess we were both really professionals at doing the devil's tango. So after that, I remember like she like instantly started putting her clothes on. She went out of the bathroom first, and then me standing there, like, I just finished getting ready, and I was just like, you know, fixing my hair and stuff in the mirror so it doesn't look like I got like totally just destroyed in the bathroom. And then as I was fixing my hair, she left. And I want to say like 2 seconds later, an old guy walked in. And the old guy just looks at me. And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know this was taken. I didn't know you were in the lineup." This old guy definitely knew what was going on. I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but this old guy definitely knew what happened. And he just turned around and didn't really want to question it. And I remember I left the bathroom and I like left. And for some reason, there was some Walmart worker just kind of like looking at me. And he was kind of staring me down. And I saw the old guy actually going up to the Walmart worker and like pointing at me. And let's just say, as usual as I usually do, I walked out of there and kind of just ran outside and ran back to the school so I can just disappear. Because I don't know, I guess school is kind of a safe haven as well, the more I think about it. And long story short, I never talked to the chick again because that was the most dumbest thing I ever had to do. Now, moral of the story is be careful and don't do it in public places. In reality, get your own place, get a bed, and do the devil's tango. There. Respect your parents. Now, like I always say, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for liking this story and enjoying this. And if you guys watch all the way through, you're outstanding. And like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace.